But in the one shot, Nat and Charlotte successfully killed Rapunzel.
So, say what? What happened? What did I miss?
I wanted to play D&D for my birthday, and it was me and Charlotte. So we had a girls' we had a weird like twisted Disney thing, and we had to kill Rapunzel.
Was she bad?
Very bad.
She was a llama.
Lamia. I know the difference. Gordon doesn't know.
A llama?
I remember a llama.
It wasn't even llama, I called her, so she was lamb.
And Charlotte got catapulted into a wall.
And I almost died.
Um,
I'm remembering that fact.
and
Next time we launch people at the wall, can we think about other options first?
but they managed to get quite a substantial amount of gold for it, so they were happy with that. And then in this campaign,
We pissed off lots of people who were praying.
right, so but you lot went down into the sewers and basically took on an entire army of basilisks.
I thought he was there for that.
And managed to basically throw one of the basilisk corpses into the middle of the street, which scared the living bejesus out of everybody. Then a couple of days later, you received a message from the king to go and
Explain why we threw a basilisk body into the middle of the street.
yeah, basically, and you've been given a mission to go investigate magical creatures attacking one of their forts. Alumba has been kidnapped by Frank. And you guys have basically been spent last session going through the market, and you bought a horse and carriage as well. So you're basically in the alpha base, waiting for morning to set off, and Morella has had a visit from her god.
Which no one knows about because I refuse to tell anyone.
Right, do you want to go to Mummy? Is that it? Yeah, go to Mummy. Okay. So, any questions on that, Mackay?
I remember there was a ghost, right?
Yep.
And once we found the alpha base, I don't remember what we have to do after.
Right. So you went on your mission in the sewers and killed the basilisks. You've now been given a mission by the king to go and explore one of his fortresses, which is coming under attack.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll basically just get started we might as well just get started now, and then David can join us whenever.
Yeah,
Oh, you're here.
I have arrived.
Yay!
Welcome.
Hey, David.
Hey, Michele, how you doing?
Fat and good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Oh, I lost track of time a little bit, so my apologies for being a bit late.
Well, according to this, you're still playing your game, wherever it is.
Yeah,
If it helps, we
that's just
updated Michele on Rapunzel.
That's just my phone being attached to Discord. It's not actively being played at the minute.
Do you want to change your colour? Because at the minute you're the same as Michele. Okay, so yeah, I've just given the just click on the colour next to your name. Put my glasses on. Okay, so
I'll try refreshing and see if it does something, because I'm sure I didn't set myself as yellow. I'm sure I did have it preset as green.
no, you didn't. Okay, so you guys are basically in the alpha base. Morella has just had her visit from the Archangel Michael.
Everyone just hears a scream.
Natalie's invisible helper is just wandering around, just
He's not invisible anymore.
yeah. He's picked up Frank's suit, which was left behind, and is now wearing it. So a
To
disembodied,
tidy up the place.
so a disembodied suit, shirt, and trousers are basically wandering around the alpha base as well.
Love that, I'll be honest.
Okay. Okay, so David, you're on the surface with Baldwin the horse.
Correct.
But Michaela, you're in bed. Nat, you're in bed, and Morella, you're recovering from your visit.
Yeah.
But do you guys want to fast forward to the morning, or Morella, do you want to do anything?
As I go back into my trance, I'm just be like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and then go back and complete my trance. And then after, in like my little journal I've got, I'm just gonna write all about it.
Okay. Okay, so dawn arrives. But you're not. Mostly, you just guess that from like a sense of timing, as opposed to any light actually coming in to the base. But I'll say, for the sake of argument, David, that you're. Yep, Papa, don't do that. That you're happy to leave the horse unattended for a little bit. So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so you guys have breakfast. Michaela, do you want to prepare anything particular, or do you just want to eat rations and stuff?
I do not remember what I had in my bag, apart of rations. So I can carry on with rations for now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, rations.
Okay, so where do you guys want to have your meal?
That sounds like a really important question. Really important commitment. Well, sunlight sounds fun.
Okay. Right, so as you're having dinner and just talking amongst yourselves about, whatever. So, quick question: which one of you took the space stone?
The what?
There was a stone that basically had like a pattern of the universe in it. Which one of you took that?
I think all the gems went to one person apart from the bloodstone, which I stole.
Yeah. So.
So it's whoever's got all the gems, I think's got them. I've got a feeling that might be Kashan.
I think it was Morella, wasn't it?
I don't. I only have the my effigy. That's the only, and then my other little small ones that I have.
Okay. Well, I'll just simply. David, if you want to add them to your inventory.
Sure. What was there?
Random stone on floor starts
yeah,
vibrating.
Yes. If you just want to call it space stone for now. If you just add it to your notes.
I can't change them out. I've gone through everything that I know.
Okay.
I really need to organise my notes. They're a little bit all over the place at the minute.
Mm-hmm. Right. So as you're basically sitting down for your breakfast, wherever it is that you are, you start hearing muffled sounds coming from this stone. And I say muffled as in like you're A, hearing it from a distance, and B, various things are in the way of you hearing it. But it's basically saying, different things which are intelligible at some points and then not intelligible at others. So anybody who's interested, if you want to give me a perception check.
I will.
I think I figured it out.
That is a 13 for me.
That's a 6 for me.
Perception.
Yeah, big rolls, big rolls.
Perception.
Okay.
Feels stupid to be doing it now, and I've got like really high. 12.
Okay, so you can't really make out various things, but at one point, one of the sort of sentences comes in quite clearly, and it's basically, "Daddy, my tummy's making noises." And then you then hear a sort of a very warped muttering sound, and then the first voice comes in and basically says, "No, no, Daddy, it's not hungry noises. It's blank. They're talking with long words and a much better vocabulary. I don't know what vocabulary is."
What?
You have a talking stone.
Are we just listening in on other people's conversations?
So then you hear like the various sounds. You know, whenever you put the phone down and but the call's still connected, and you hear like that clattering noise on the phone.
Yeah.
You basically hear that, and then you hear a little bit clearer. Somebody go, "Open your mouth, say ra, ra," and so then then the other voice comes in very, very clearly. What did you eat? I ate I ate the bacon, and I ate that shiny stone that you gave me. There's a long pause. "Padwin, why did you eat the stone?" "I was hungry."
I was just about to say, do I recognise the voice as Padwin?
Oh no.
"But why did you eat it? You know you're not supposed to eat stones." "But I was hungry."
I'd like to try and speak into the stone and say, yes, he was hungry.
Because it's a very tasty stone.
"Padwin, did you say that?" "No, that's what I'm saying. There's voices in my tummy."
They sound like that.
So fun.
I'm going to send greetings.
"Who are you? Identify yourself." "Now, Padwin, keep your mouth open."
We're the voices in Padwin's tummy.
Then you hear another voice and it's like, "Scott, why are you talking into your cat?"
He's not talking into the cat. He's talking into the pit of bottomless food.
Then you hear slightly more quietly, "Padwin ate the sending stone." And it looks like somebody's on the other end. Then you hear a deeper voice, slightly more clearly. It's like, "All right, let me handle this." And then somewhat more muffled, "Who are you? What do you want?" And then slightly clearer, "Why are you talking into the cat's butt?" And that's how you hold cell phones in where we're from. No, but the cat isn't a cell phone. You're talking to its butt. I like it. I like people. There. I like it when people talk to me.
Okay, I'll now identify who we are.
Oh, great! So you managed to find a sending stone. Where are you?
We're inside the abandoned Alpha base.
Which alpha base?
Outside of
Yeah,
Aqua.
Aquavita.
Oh, good. Very good. we'd read on some of our instruments that the base was active, but we didn't know if it was you or not. What's the situation in Aquaveda?
I guess I'll fill them in.
Oh,
It's very clean.
What specifically do you want to fill them in? You need to be specific at this bit.
Let them know about the basilisks. And that we're going to maybe fight water elementals, if they could. You know, if they've got any advice on that. That might be nice.
Water elementals, okay. We haven't ever really fought them, but one thing that I will say, water elementals don't just happen. They're usually controlled by somebody. But you'll probably find that be fighting water elementals and then put a water elemental myrmidon. Usually destroying the myrmidon will destroy the other elementals.
Good to know.
But that won't really matter unless you take out whoever it is that's controlling them. That will simply bring them back another day. Is there anything else that you want to fill them in on?
How can we understand if the elemental are commanded by someone or they're just set free from doing things?
Water elementals are, by definition, controlled by somebody. If you set a water elemental free, it just turns into water.
Okay. So usually, is there someone who likes prevalently use elemental creatures? Like, I don't know, for instance, sirens for water elements and stuff like that. So at least we know what we need to look for, if you know what I mean.
That's a good question.
Pretty much anybody. Well, let me put it this way: to control a water elemental is fairly basic magic. To control an army of them is quite significant magic, particularly a myrmidon. So whoever you're looking for is a very powerful mage. Might be a druid, but a mage or sorcerer is probably more likely.
So, do you think that this is made by pure magic, or is maybe even like a artifact that makes yourself to use the elements?
No, this is magic. I think what you're thinking of are golems, where you use a control rod to control them. But water elementals are just pure magic.
Are there any of the warlords that were known to use water elementals?
There was one. We encountered him quite briefly, but we didn't really do much in his capture. But he was the brother of a demigod and tried to take over Neptune's realm, and we were part of a task force that brought him down. Although we specifically didn't capture him, so powers beyond us managed to do that. We weren't entirely sure what happened to him until we found out that he had escaped from the Esgarothi fort. Daddy, if this stone is in my tummy, does that mean we have to cut it out with a knife?
Yes.
Yay! I like shiny things. And, by the way, Have you seen Frank at all?
Yes.
Not since he kidnapped him. Remember?
But
I seen his suit.
What do you mean you've seen his suit?
It's walking around in the vase.
And is Frank in said suit?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. It's just a walking suit.
What did you do?
Well,
She did it.
I
I'm gonna try and show the stone Marina.
I may have wished for him to get out the suit.
And then what happened?
Well, apparently, news to me actually. Frank can sort of travel through time and space, sort of ish. I'm still a little bit confused. And the version of Frank that we keep seeing is in the past, where he's in the suit and has not caught up yet with present day him out of the suit. So I've sort of kind of cursed him to an infinity lifetime of in the suit because he's not at the present time yet. Oops.
Right. Well, if you see him, can you let him know that... I can't believe I'm saying this. We need his help.
What kind of a mess are you guys in that you need Frank's help?
Well, it's not necessarily that we need his help. We just need his advice on some things. A lot has happened recently, and he begins to tell you like the story of what he's doing, but then he says no, there's something more important, and basically there's a shifting noise as like he sort of adjusts Padwin, and he says, Marilla, I should probably tell you, we've had news from your kingsmen in regards to their war against the undead.
Okay.
News probably hasn't reached where you are now, but it's reached us. Your people amassed an army to engage the dead of Verdansk, and I'm sorry to say, they were very soundly defeated. As far as we can tell, the four brothers and sister who led the war effort managed to survive, but the High Elf army is now in a state of complete ruin. And unfortunately, the northern part of the kingdom is now lost to the undead infestation. Jen is on her way over there now to see how she can help, along with Stig. And Clarissa is investigating what's going on in Dripsir, and me and Jason are here trying to track down the killer in Northwick, and Katie is starting to investigate what's going on in Pines Reach.
Thank you for letting me know.
Well, hopefully this will be something that you can help with whenever you're done in Aquaveda.
Yes. Next time you see Clarissa, can you pass on a message?
Sure. Yeah, Padwin, keep your mouth open. But Daddy, my mouth hurts. Not to... It won't be much longer.
One more moment, Padwin. One more moment. Say... I'm gonna look over at the group and blush a bit because I'm not telling the whole truth. Whilst out and about, I ran into her brother and he wishes to know what's been hidden.
Did this brother give a name at all?
Yes, he did. I believe his name was Michael.
There's a long pause. Oh. Right. Did he say anything else?
Nope, that was it. That was all he said. Nothing else.
And I still
Nothing
really
from
hard
anyone
and
else.
right there and try and just like not blink. And that's the lizard the lizards do. Then you sort of put up with like a 4-way blink thing at you.
And my face and ears are bright red, and I'm just fiddling with my religious medallion thing, whatever it's called. Just be like, nope, everything's
If
fine.
it helps, my intimidation was crap. So
Can you roll a deception for me?
Yeah, sure. That's always a smart idea for someone who doesn't do well on that. That is an 18!
So, okay, so that's enough to persuade him. So, well, if he turns up again, just be careful. Michael isn't exactly known for his... he plays around with his words for a bit. Well, anything, really. But he's very, very dangerous.
Hey, I doubt I'll be seeing him again, so it's fine.
And that also brings me to one final point. But Daddy, you said... Quiet, Padron, quiet. We've received word that some of our rivals in the monster hunting business are in Aqua Veda. Watch yourself. They hate alphas with passion.
lots of people here hate the alphas with a passion.
I say it's true. We'll speak later. Keep this stone nearby whenever we've gotten it out of Padwin. Yay! We'll speak to you again.
I'm just understanding like, okay. I'm just like pretending I'm like, I had the stone just by my mouth thinking about eating it myself.
I'm going to take it out of her mouth and keep hold of it myself.
Daddy, does this mean we can play with the grenades now? No. No. And then Stone goes quiet.
As long as we don't have to hear it poop out the other room, we're fine.
Okay.
You sound like a mobile phone when you do that, Ian.
Is there anything else that you would like to do in the alpha base before you set off?
No, I don't think so. Not for me, at least.
I'd like to do a 10-minute prayer,
Sure.
or a short prayer sort of thing, with protection on the whole of Minnesota and hoping that everyone I know is safe. And I'm probably gonna cry a little bit during it, but then I'll wipe my eyes and pretend I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna summon my snake.
Your snake.
Yes, I have a snake. My familiar had to be a snake. Remember, I had to change it. I'd had to recheck the spell.
Oh, okay. Because I've still done it as a blink dog.
That's fine, you can do a blink dog if you want, but I had to redo, I checked it back up. But apparently I can't have a blink dog, I had to have a snake.
Okay. I'll change that over for next session.
See, I did read the stuff.
Okay.
Eventually.
Okay, so you have a snake.
Yes.
And what do you want the snake to do?
It's just gonna hang around with me. It's like just follows me around until I decide to send it away or it dies.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm just walking around with my snake just wrapped around my neck.
Okay. So do you guys want to head out now?
The suit is just gonna take a random, just like sit down.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just gonna have a suit sitting in the chair, holding a pot of tea on a teacup. They're just like floating in midair, sort of where hands would be. I'm glad someone found that funny.
So do you guys want to head off?
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
it's sharing tea with the idol.
Okay.
It's given Lyria's idol a teacup.
Okay, so do you collect Baldwin?
Yeah, and wait, we left the cart in the marketplace, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, but it was
Yes,
night time or
we'll-
whatever, so
I'll collect Baldwin.
Right, so you need to basically claim your card, which, oops, wrong one. Okay, so a little bit of contradictoriness. The card is in this part of town, However, in order to get to the fortress, you have to remain on this side of the river, because this is the fortress that you need to go to.
Ah, right, okay.
So, do you just want to montage through that, or do you want to,
Yeah, I mean, unless there's any, sort of issues that we might have.
Okay, does anything happen? No. Okay. So, as you go through the town, and do you... Right, so it's early morning, so it's low tide, so you can cross the river.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Okay. And right, so you collect the cart from the marketplace and strap it onto your horse, and then walk your horse through the town. So you're basically here. So there's a few different routes you can take. You can go through the ruins, or you can go through, take a more easterly road, and then sort of cross through the farmlands. Guys?
Anyone got any preferences?
Sorry, I was writing notes.
Most
What
direct.
about to go to the farmlands? So at least we are away from water.
I second that.
Okay, so I've got 2 votes for the eastern route.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that as well.
Okay. Right. So, what's effectively your marching order? I take it you've thrown your excess gear into the cart. Is anyone actually riding in the cart?
Me. I'm hiding in the cart away from the water. I'm like snuggled up in my barrel with my snake to cuddle, and I'm like, there's no water.
I was going to say, how many people can get in the cart?
Okay, so you can have... Technically all 5 of you can be in the cart, but it won't go particularly fast if you do. But one person needs to basically be driving the cart, and another person basically needs to be... one person needs to be lookout, basically doing survival checks and leading the way. One person needs to drive the cart. Another person needs to be handling the horse, in case the horse gets freaked out at all. And then then somebody can be riding in the cart, basically as a passenger, and then another person can be in the cart with the gear.
Well, I will deal with the horse because I've got advantage on animal handling checks.
Okay.
I can do the survival checks.
Okay. Charlotte, what would you like to do?
I can drive.
Okay.
I'm hiding. I don't think I could drive anyway, because only about 3 foot tall. I probably couldn't reach.
Okay, so you're
I feel like driving will be peaceful.
in the cart as a passenger. Charlotte, you're driving.
There isn't anyone
Da-
else.
David, you're handling the horse, and McKelly, you're the guide.
Well, I'm playing with the gear. I'm tinkering with stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm sort of like tucked it in my barrel and just occasionally poking my head out.
Okay. Right, so McKelly, to start off with, can I get a survival check from you?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, here we start. 5.
Okay, right, so that's going to make things much more interesting. Okay, so Kashan, can I get an animal handling from you?
Yeah. Oh, with both sides of the spectrum, there was a 2, but it also got a 19, so 18.
Okay. The horse seems to be quite sort of happy to sort of have something to do, so it's being very, very compliant. But you're walking at something a little bit faster than just a standard walking pace. But And the horse specifically is keeping track with you at your walking pace and going in the direction you're going in. Unfortunately, Turek has led you in the wrong direction. So, so you basically are travelling through the farmlands, and there aren't any particular roads here in the way that you followed the road to the city when you were first here. It's more just a case of like just flattened earth where people have sort of like walked communal routes. So it's not even like a dirt road. It's more just like a wide path which has just occurred naturally. So you're not necessarily following any landmarks. But if everybody wants to give me a survival check.
Oh, that is a 3.
That is
Natural 20 plus 3.
Yes, mine was a 21.
Okay.
22.
Okay.
20. Well,
Okay. So Charlotte, Nass, and Turek, you realise that you have actually headed too far east, given that the mountains are starting to come up in front of you. You're supposed to be heading south to the coast. So you make your adjustments accordingly, and you start heading in the right direction. After a couple of hours of walking, you come to a very wide open area, which you could tell at one point was a wonderful and very fertile farmland, just like fields just going off all the way to the horizon. And basically in the middle of this wonderland of farming, which is now in a very overgrown state, because it hasn't been kept at all, is a small hill that has a wooden church sitting atop it.
Can we tell who the church is dedicated to?
Sure, if you want to give me an investigation check, whoever's interested.
She would like to join in if that's okay.
Oh Jesus, I'm retiring this dice. That's a 1.
Oh no.
Alright, that one's going back.
That's a 20, not natural for me.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, 21. No. There we go, I can count.
McKelly, are you rolling as well?
yeah, but I've done a 10, so not much of a help.
Okay. So those of you who are able to pass, you recognise the symbology as this being a church to, I'm going to go and mispronounce this, Shanti, the goddess of agriculture.
Architecture.
Agriculture, farming.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. The building itself is quite small, so you can calculate that the alpha base is significantly bigger than this single building. But as you watch or are examining this building from afar, you can see that a black cloud appears to be forming above the building itself. And the black cloud is sparkling with flashing light, as if it's like a very small sample of a thunderstorm. Then after...
Please don't be knife ring.
It slowly gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it is wide enough to just encompass this entire church, and then you see somebody, a single individual, falling out of it, falls from like the air to earth and crashes straight through the roof of the convent.
I suppose we should go take a look.
I was gonna say,
How much you want to bet is Frank? Falling on a bunch of nuns.
oh my god. I was gonna say, as driver, is that I don't know if it's my job to make Baldwin go faster.
But you're just taking up the role of driving. Basically, in the event that if you basically decide to go somewhere that the others don't, then you basically get the final say in the matter.
Ah, okay. I'd be like, someone make it go faster.
Okay, so it takes you about an hour to pass through to the convent, which appears to now be in a state of complete chaos. But there's a nun sitting outside, outside the open front door. She's panting as if she's just had a panic attack. If you guys want to give me either a medicine check or investigation, whichever is higher for you.
Medicine or what?
Medicine or investigation.
Definitely going to be a medicine from me.
That is a 14 on investigation for me.
For me, she's just gonna check drive.
That was a 21 from me.
Okay. She doesn't appear to have anything particularly wrong with her. However, she is blushing, like, to an almost unhealthy level, and you can't really articulate anything that she's saying. She sees your presence and tries to meet you and tries to greet you, but she is just too overwhelmed by what has just happened to be able to articulate anything to you. And she just simply points you inside.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tie the horse somewhere and walk in.
Okay.
I still want to bet it's
Gonna-
Frank.
I was going to say, I was going to follow with... If I see someone that was going to attack us, I was going to get Toll the Dead ready to cast, and then I'm going to cover my hat, like my eyes slightly, in case anyone's nude. I don't want to see that.
Okay. Unfortunately, you win the bet, but you didn't.
No.
But you didn't actually bet anything. So.
I found Frank!
Right. So there's various nuns just like dotted around the place. Some are desperately trying to avert their eyes from the sight of Frank. Others are taking a very keen interest in him because he is literally buck-ass nude.
Is he circumcised? I never asked that.
You can give me. You can do an investigation check if you really want.
Let's see. That's a 5.
Okay. Unfortunately, the nun that he appears to be arguing with is blocking your view of him. So there's various nuns dressed up in light blue and grey, but this one that he's arguing with is dressed up in a very different attire. Well, the same style, but different colours. She's in a more yellow and red in comparison to the other ones. And she's basically got her back to you, but you can see, sort of like poking out from under her dress, is a cat's tail.
Hmm.
Can I go poke the tail?
Can if you want.
I
I
was
was
like,
going to say...
this on the tail. Yeah, I'm going to just go up and like chase the tail.
Give me
Can
sleight of hand.
I'm not going to pull it, I'm just like going to jump it.
Charlotte?
21!
Can I get my blanket out to run over to Frank and try to cover him?
I got a
To
21.
stop the indecency?
You sure you
So-
want to use your blanket for that?
I'll buy another one, it's fine.
So
Sounds safe.
Frank basically sees you and is like, "Oh, darling, it's so good to see you again. Thank you so much." And before you can wrap the blanket around him, he gives you a full arm hug.
No, oh no, oh no. My hands are up, like surrendering, and my eyes are squeezed shut, and the tips of my ears are the brightest red ever. And I'm gonna go, Frank, I've got a blanket for you, and I'm gonna try to put it round him like a little cloak, so he's covered a little bit more. So nothing flapping about is flapping in front of anyone.
Darling, thank you so much for saving me from that accursed suit. It was so suffocating, darling. But I don't know what happened. I ended up in another dimension. Then, whenever I came out, I landed somewhat less elegantly than I intended here. I can if somebody wishes for it, I can fix the roof.
I think we can figure out how to do it ourselves. It's
I'm
okay.
just gonna play with the cat's tail.
Okay, so the sister who was arguing with him is basically, who are you, and why have you ruined my roof?
Technically, he ruined your roof.
He's still holding onto her tail.
Yeah, I'm holding her tail while I do that. I'm pointing with her tail.
Okay, can you give me a dexterity saving throw?
Ooh.
This is where we find out they're warrior
Did I get
gnomes.
a bonus because I'm tiny? 13.
No.
Okay, you just managed to sort of avoid her as she sort of kicks at you and tries to yank her tail out of your hand.
I'm just gonna sort of
I asked you a question. Who are you?
Who are
Tordem.
you? Oh, we went very different ways there.
I've actually forgotten what I called her. I am Ricola Shepherd. I'm the abbess of this convent.
And how would you spell that wonderful name of yours?
Okay, so that's R for Ricola Shepherd. That's I. I've just seen Ricola Shepherd. C. I see Ricola Shepherd. Oh my god, it's Ricola Shepherd. L. Look, it's Ricola Shepherd. A. It's Ricola Shepherd.
I can spell shepherd. It's alright.
That was amazing.
I'm honestly curious as to whether or not you had everything for Shepherd.
So what was that?
I said I'm curious as to what you had for Shepherd.
What did you say she was? The
The abbess.
Yeah, she's the abbess of this convent.
So it's like the female version of an abbot.
She's basically like a female priest.
Yeah, that's just what I'm gonna write in my notes.
If it helps in my notes, I put Frank fell on. Frank landed on an abbess.
Well, I take it that this heathen is a friend of yours.
Friend is using a term.
He's a resident genie.
Frank, get out of there with that nun.
Wait, what? She basically turns around. So, where have they gone?
That way.
Go and grab Frank by the back of the neck and just sort of drag him out of the room.
But darling, I swear I wasn't doing anything indecent.
Yet.
Frank, by definition, you were doing indecent all of the time.
You're indecently dressed? How can you be dressed but wear no clothes? How does that mean you... I'm just going to sit here and ponder the whole state of like what counts as dressed. Technically he is in a state of dress, just with no clothes on.
Oh, very well, very well. And he clicks his fingers, and his usual less than concealing attire basically comes back, and he adjusts his hat and holds out the blanket to you, Marilla. You can have this back now.
I breathe
fire. They're fine with me burning the blanket on.
You're going to burn it in the sacred flame as an offering to the
Maybe
god.
not. Maybe not. I'll burn it somewhere else. I'll just take it and try to put it in my bag without touching much of the fabric.
You still haven't answered my question. Who are you? My patience is wearing thin.
Tordem!
Marilla, acolyte of the goddess Lyria. Who are you? Wait, you've already said. Never mind.
I'm Ricola Shepherd.
I say the question. I just say it anyway.
She looks like that, just so you know.
Oh yeah, come on.
I'll tell her that, to put it simply, where Ravlan's heading towards the fort.
But then I suggest you be on your way, unless you're willing to make a donation to our church. Heavens knows we need some.
Us.
What sort of time are we at? Like, how long have we travelled so far? Is it-
But it's all mid-afternoon by now. And on that note, actually, the warmth from the morning has disappeared somewhat, and now quite a chilly fog is starting to set in around the local area.
Should we attempt to help fix their roof in exchange for a place to stay for the night?
I was also gonna offer 20 gold to them.
Well, I can offer something too, darling, but unfortunately, it's not quantifiable.
I'm just going to ignore Frank.
Okay, so are you giving her 20 gold, or?
Yep, I'm gonna put it in a little pouch, and I'm gonna wave some incense over it so it has good blessings and brings like great fortune for them.
Thank you very much. Will you be staying for our evening service?
I would like to join if that's okay. It's been a while since I've been to one.
I will offer to, if there's any way to get to the roof and if there's any materials around to help sort of patch things up. I'd also like to tell Frank that, was it Jason that said he needed him?
Yes, the alphas in Northwick needed his help.
I
Oh,
will
yeah.
let Frank know and hopefully have him be on his way.
Can I chime in before you do and ask where's the lumber?
That's a good point.
The last time we saw him, you stole him.
I didn't steal him, darling. I put him under citizen's arrest, and it's a very legitimate concept. You should Google it sometime.
But where is he now? If you're here, I obviously.
So after placing him under citizen's arrest, where did you take him?
Well, I remember I took him to put our fashion show, which was a humongous success, I might add. Everybody loved him. Like, everybody loves the shade of green, as it were. And then we went out partying, and we partied very, very, very hard, and I woke up in a stable somewhere.
So you lost him.
Let me check for you. Hold on. And Ricola is like, oh, thank God, I thought you'd never leave. And she looks around at the nuns who are still like either pretending to do something or just blushing really hard. Get back to it, ladies. Show's over.
I'm just gonna lean against the nearest wall with a wait for it.
And as you do that, the nun that Frank had accosted comes out. Greetings, Lord. I'll be on my way.
I just give a curt nod and let it pass.
Okay, so do you guys basically want to spend the rest of the day here, or do you just want to devote a certain amount of time?
Well, we can try to help as much as we can, but after all, we got our affair to do, right?
Yeah, I'd like to help out, and I if it gets too late, I'd like to stay the night.
Well,
Yeah,
of course, this is a sanctuary, and any help that you can give and your donation is greatly accepted. But we don't really have guest quarters, so you may be forced to sleep on the floor, and I'm not entirely sure if we have anywhere for your steed.
Okay.
but do not worry. But should we come under attack, we're very, very well provisioned. We have axes, crossbows, and several slings that we've used to defend ourselves.
I have a magic wand.
I can help heal people if it does happen.
Excellent. Okay, so but you basically, if you need to apply your long rest, but the night is fairly uneventful. But nothing happens throughout the night aside from the fact that the nuns are basically doing their various jobs. They seem to have a sort of cycle where some are asleep throughout the day and then others are. But you don't want to press those, Papa. And then those ones then wake up and work throughout the night. So the convent is always in a state of something happening, whether it's people writing manuscripts, picking flowers, cooking, cleaning, or praying. Something is always happening here. So what do you guys want to do over the course of the night?
Is it very similar to how it was, like similarly run to the Temple of Libria? As in, like, routine?
In terms of the praying, yes. Everything else, not so much. But in the Temple of Libria, you don't have people who copy transcripts in the way that these ones are doing. Basically, they've each been given a book or a scroll of some sort, which is in a state of disrepair, which they're then copying onto fresh scrolls, using the exact same sort of like handwriting and style that is in the original scroll.
Okay, I'd like to, unless anyone needs help, I'd like to watch them.
Okay.
And just like ask a few questions about like what they're doing and stuff.
Okay, which one do you want to ask?
I would like to go over to this one in the corner.
No, she's not entirely sure if she's allowed to talk to you. So, while you're just simply standing there, she knows that you're there, but not necessarily acknowledging your presence.
It's fine. After a while, I'll move in between the two and ask, sort of, not loudly, just be like, is this common practice of what you do as part of your faith?
Well, she looks around, and at this point, the abbess is in her office. So, she basically says, "Oh, yes, Fair Sister. This is what we do here. We copy the manuscripts of the ancient scrolls and the land deeds of the local land. So, if, say, a lord was to die, we can then call upon these scrolls and see what lands have been left to the church, if any."
It is truly fascinating. I've not experienced an acolyte doing anything like that before.
Oh, it's very common practice here, sister. This is how you get into the schools of the faith, as it were. I mean, here, and she very, very gently picks up the scroll that she's working on and sort of moves it across the table so that you're able to see it. Oh, this is the gospel according to Saint Cuthbert. But it was a great saint of our land several centuries ago when our people first came here. As you can see, the scroll itself is damaged, so I'm copying it out to preserve it.
Is
And then
kind.
she leans in quite conspiratorially. Did you know that in this convent we actually have St. Cuthbert's toenail clippers? A very holy relic.
Oh. Have you? Okay. Have you had any messages directly from your deity?
Oh, not me personally. Like, no, I'm much too unworthy to receive such messages. Maybe later, whenever I am more faithful, then that would certainly be a gift. Yes, most definitely. It's what we all aspire to. Well, that and Stigmata, of course. That would be a great honour.
Well, you must be worthy enough to be here, so have some faith and I'm sure they'll come around.
Absolutely. But I must get back to work. I'm already behind on the scroll as
Of
it is.
So sorry to bother you. Thank you. I'll be sure to let the head know of how wonderful you've been.
But at this point, she's already absorbed into painting the. It's basically one of those scrolls that has like the painting around it, and then the text in the middle.
Yeah.
So she's basically drawing that out with a paintbrush.
And then I'll go help with the roof.
McKelly, do you want to do anything?
No, I just want to follow David. I'm trying to help him get fix the roof.
Okay, David, is that what you're doing?
Yeah, that's pretty much all I had planned.
What do you want to do?
I'm just weirdly sitting on a bench with a piece of scroll paper that I've nicked off someone's desk in a quilt, and I look like I'm drawing and writing stuff.
Alright, give me a deception check.
This is my attempt at me learning. So I have to be deceptive when I'm trying to learn.
Well, you just said you've nicked it. So.
I was
Natural
gonna say,
20.
if you...
So nobody realises I've stolen a piece of paper.
Can I? Oh,
I can't
Can I have a
really
look?
of the baby.
to make sure that Torden's not getting up to mischief.
You sure? Give me an investigation.
Is she trying to investigate what I'm doing?
Yes.
That is a 20, not natural.
Okay, so you can see that she's basically stolen what looks like a scroll of land permits, but you can't make out the name because she's actually written over it.
Can I approach Torden and be like, "What you doing?"
I'm learning.
Learning!
Okay. I'm gonna take a seat next to her. I'm gonna gently pry away the scroll and get some fresh parchment out. Be like, right, do you know your alphabet?
No. I just point out the scribbles that I've randomly made on the paper.
I can help. I can help with that. First, we start with A for it's Ricola Shepherd. Then B, by God, it's Ricola Shepherd.
Oh my goodness. Well, I guess we'll start with that, and I'll help her trace her alphabet.
Okay, so you spend the rest of the day and a little bit of the evening doing this. McKelly, do you want to organise a meal, or do you want to let the sisters organise it for you?
No, I'll let them inform that I have some skills regarding that. If they want some help, I'll be there for them.
Okay, so dinner is basically a berry and nettle soup, with various bits of stale bread. They don't appear to have much.
I'm going to rake round in my barrel and find a ration of beef that I stored.
Okay,
That I bought from the dried store.
sure. Okay, so you basically are admitted to this room so that you can basically sleep. But as I said, the nuns are basically in a state of constant work. So some of them are sleeping in the room with you, others are milling around doing work. But the shift change occurs very, very early in the morning, so just before sunrise. So do you guys want to have breakfast with the sisters, or do you just want to head straight out and eat your rations?
I'm easy.
Charlotte?
Think we should head off and leave them to it before,
We're causing any more mischief.
Yes, exactly that. And I'm also going to tell Ricola Shepherd. Look, Ricola Shepherd. About the good work her acolytes are doing.
Okay. So she basically dismisses this straight away and simply says, "Oh, they'll do as they're told, unless, of course, another naked man descends in through the roof."
Well, I suppose some naked men can be distracting.
And I was
Yes,
just going
but-
to give her a piece of paper that has a picture, like a stick man of Frank, and I've written Frank. Just give it to her.
That's really good. Well done, Tordum.
So Frank appears behind her, but he seems somewhat uncharacteristically awkward. You know, like whenever people linger around somebody and they try to get their attention, but they don't want to interrupt. He's basically doing that, and then eventually gives up and disappears. Okay, so do you guys want to... Are you guys heading out, or are you having food first?
Should we just head out down the road?
Sounds like a good idea.
Can do.
Okay, so you guys doing the same tasks as you were before?
Yeah.
Yep, whilst riding, is it possible to teach Tordum some more literacy?
you can if you want. Right, so McKelly can I get a survival check from you? And Kashan, can I get an animal handling from you?
Yep.
Yes.
That is
That's a 20.
17 for me.
Okay, so you basically you feed the horse and give it like a pat down. It's quite happy to be heading off. It doesn't seem particularly comfortable here, particularly since it's just been left out in the open overnight.
I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. You got a 20, lovely. Right, so the route to the fortress is basically just dead south, and you work out that quite easily, mainly because you can actually see the spires of the fort off in the distance behind the tree line. But as the sun begins to rise, however, you can see that it's rising a very, very almost bloodied red. As opposed to like the normal sort of like yellow and orange sunrise. Morella, can you give me either a history or religion check, depending on what's higher?
Yep. What's higher? Religion, history. Oh, they're both the same, so... That is a 15.
Okay. You know exactly what this means, and it means that a red dragon has died somewhere in the world.
Well, that makes me uncomfortable.
I'm going to say... Not like loudly or quietly, just sort of... Just into the air. There's been too much death lately. And I'm gonna... just like that.
Just be like that scene in Two Towers where Legolas just sees the sun and just mutters to himself and then doesn't tell anybody about it. Okay.
Like everyone can hear me say it, but I'm not like saying it to them.
Okay, so you basically head directly south, unless somebody wants to take it elsewhere.
No, I'm good to head straight to the fort.
Okay. Right. So you're... Oh, we got the horse.
You know, in my notes I nearly wrote somewhere over the rainbow. I tried to write somewhere in the world, and not over the rainbow.
Okay, so you arrive at the fort in fairly good time, to the point that it's only sort of like mid-afternoon, like by the time that you arrive. But the fog has lifted, but it's been replaced with that with a very cold and gentle, sort of somewhat medium breeze. And you eventually get to the fort. The fort itself is a combination of old stone with then wooden palisades either built around it or filling up the breaches that are in this wall. So basically, this wall has been built by somebody. So the fortress has been built by somebody before. These people have then occupied it and have fixed various pieces of it up with wood and thatch. Okay, so the fort is basically, well, technically it's two forts, and basically linking the two forts together, going over the river, is a giant river chain which hangs just about off the water surface. The middle of the chain is covered in seaweeds and like water and algae and stuff like that, so you can tell that at a high tide this chain is submerged under the water. Kashan, can you give me a history check?
I can. That is a 15.
Okay. Right, so this, you recognise this immediately as a blockade fort. And basically these forts exist to stop naval incursions coming upriver. Basically, the idea is that the chain will stop the ships from travelling through, and the forts will then need to be assaulted directly in order for the chain to be released so that the naval incursion can travel through. You also remember that this fort wasn't here the last time that you were. Or rather, the stone aspects of the fort were, but this this new version of it, this is very new.
Good to know.
Okay, so as you approach the fort, there's a soldier standing in the gate, and as he sees you approach, he actually retreats inside and closes the door on you.
Oh.
I don't think he likes us very much.
I guess I'll go and knock on the door.
Okay, so there isn't an immediate response. But then after a few moments, sort of like eye slot in the door opens, and you can basically just see these soldiers staring back at you. So, who are you, and what is your business here?
Were we told to meet someone in particular?
Yes,
Or-
you were. The warrior known as Miwala.
I've got everyone else's name but that written down. I just had to meet someone at the fort.
Did I have
I
that?
definitely misspelled that
No,
name.
I love that. I have that written down.
I'll let them know that we've been sent by the king to meet Mewala.
Okay, so the soldier initially just sort of comprehends this, closes the hatch, and then retreats inside. And then you hear the sounds of footsteps, and the eye hole opens. And you can see that a somewhat elderly soldier is looking through the door. And even though that you've never been officially introduced to him, you actually recognise this as one of the soldiers who was training in Hirok's barracks. But although, as I said, you haven't actually been introduced to him. You're here to see me. What is this about?
I thought Milana was a woman.
Guys. Hello.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm afraid that I have to go. I've got some problems to sort it out.
That's okay. Is everything alright?
Yeah, just my boyfriend is having some issues, and I like to be next to him. So
Yeah,
I
of
have
course.
to get.
Yeah, of course. We'll let you know what happens here. Okay.
Yeah, sure. You guys carry on. No worries. I'll text you later. All right.
All right. See you in a bit.
Everything's okay.
Bye, guys.
Okay, so but you recognise this guy as somebody who had been training in Hirok's barracks, but you had never actually been introduced to him, and he seems to have some level of recognition about you, but he's still remaining suspicious. What do you want with me?
We've been sent by the king to reinforce the area. We were told to come here and meet you regarding the water elementals.
We came to kill fire. No, water.
Right, so he seems quite shocked at the fact that you know about this. And so, do you have your writ?
Just gonna wait, no question.
Yes. I'll show him the writ.
But he gestures that you hand it to him.
Sure. I'll give him it through the slot, I suppose.
Okay. So the slot closes, and there's silence for a while, and then the door opens. Come in, quickly. And keep this to yourself.
Is there room for the horse?
Okay, so basically what you're looking at is basically the segment of the fortress where the events are going to be occurring, but the fort basically carries on going in this direction and this direction. So yeah, you just swap with the horse there.
Yeah, I'll just chuck him out of the way.
We stable the horse safely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I give him an apple before we leave him?
Yeah, sure. Are you taking one of their supplies of apples, or?
Yeah, just grab it as they walk past.
Okay. Okay, so Miwala basically leads you through the fortress. It's very, very clean, to put the point that you would actually be very surprised to see that this place is actually on effectively what will be the coast. But there's no sign of like water damage or anything like that. This place is absolutely immaculate. Even to the point that the blacksmith's forge is actually quite devoid of soot. So he gestures for you to come into a small room in here. And he basically leads you into the chamber where a giant winch is attached to like a wooden block which goes all the way up to the ceiling. And basically has effectively a giant steering wheel for a pirate ship. And then leading out of the room at effectively what would be Kashan's eye level is the giant chain which goes out into the across the river. So, you know about the water elementals? What have you been told?
Not a great deal. Mostly that they seem to be making incursions on forts up the coast.
Yes, that is effectively all that we know. This fort itself has come under attack twice. None of the men who are here know about the attacks. It was decided that this matter remains secret until we find out what is really going on.
Don't they have a right to know they might be attacked?
Of course they do, but panic will do no one any good. And remember, Saxons are very spiritual people. I wouldn't have believed it myself had I not witnessed the attack firsthand. But I can tell you from experience, people who are told about magic in this land very quickly dismiss it as superstition.
But you have wizards and elves.
And clerics.
I never said there was a good decision.
if he's seen it firsthand, I'd like sort of as much information as he has about it. Like, did they come from like a particular direction, or?
On that matter, yes, they come from the open ocean. As you can see, this is the mouth of the river. The only thing that goes out from here is the ocean itself and the interlocking rivers in between the different islands. They're coming from the south. They don't seem to have moved past this fort. They're very particularly attacking here and the other forts along the river. Easily they could just bypass the chain themselves and just carry on towards the cities, but for some reason they don't. They're very, very particular about attacking here. It's almost as if they want these forts to be destroyed.
Well, elementals are normally controlled by someone in particular. Is there anywhere somebody maybe controlling them from?
I know nothing about that. All I know is that every week the waters will suddenly recede into the river, as if low tide or a drought is occurring, and then all of a sudden these creatures will start appearing out of the water, and they'll start attacking the fortress itself. This fortress is very well built, if I do say so myself, and is designed to repel any attack. But the problem is that these water elementals can creep in through the cracks in the walls. They don't seem to have a particular solid form. We do eventually break them up with sword, shield, and hammers, but what we do is very, very limited, and obviously we lose people every time that an attack happens. We're covering it up, of course, so that nobody questions the deaths and saying that it's bandit attacks, but I'm not sure how much longer we can keep this secret for.
Well, the only way to stop it is to find the source. So maybe we'll have to take a look when the next attack happens.
Well,
I could cast dramaturgy to figure it out.
or maybe you could use your create or destroy water spell.
Yeah, that might actually be useful.
Well, you're in luck. So I don't know if you saw on your way in, but the water levels are already starting to recede. I would expect an attack as early as tomorrow.
Can I put a pin in?
Hmm?
We were told not to kill anything. We were told to get information.
Well,
No,
that
we were told to bring information back.
Well, that's on you, but my duty is to my men. But I will not put their lives on the line just for the sake of political intrigue.
I'm just going to stare at him because I have no idea what that means.
Will help.
I'm glad to hear it. But we don't really have a concept of bunks here, just take whatever you can find. But at the moment, there's no way to get across the river. I've banned all access, so you're stuck on this side until further notice.
That's fine. Don't really like water.
Has it only attacked this side of the fort?
No, it attacks both sides, but I'm not risking anybody getting into the river to get to the other side. Particularly since, according to the soldiers, there's no actual danger. There is a bridge a few miles north of the river, but whether or not you have time to make that distance is a decision you'll have to make.
Can
I
I
think we'll
do an
stay-
Arcana check and see if there's any magic that's influencing in the area?
Sure.
With 23.
Okay. Right, so you're not picking up anything in this room, or anything immediate, but I'm assuming you walk around the...
Yeah,
Entire
just like
fort, yeah.
walking around the entire way, avoiding any patches of water.
Okay. But you can, aside from the barrels of water, which are clearly visible, you're actually picking up something magical coming from the blacksmith's forge.
Okay, I'm going to go over to the blacksmith and sort of stare very intently at him.
I'm going to follow.
Yeah, same.
He's doing
Seeing-
magic.
Seeing what Tormund's doing, I'm going to follow her. Especially since she's heading towards the smith. That piques my intrigue.
She's probably going to sit in the fire, is what I'm thinking.
So they all think I'm going to play with the fire, and I'm here to investigate why he's doing magic. It's fine.
It is something you would do.
True.
Why?
I am going to poke the fire at the same time, though.
So he basically just like watches you doing this, and he doesn't have like any sense of urgency like other people would naturally. He doesn't try to stop you. He just simply like watches you and just like then just simply says, "What are you doing, lizard?" He has a very, very deep voice, considering that he's an elf as well.
You're playing with magic. I'm trying to find it. I'm going to just like pick up random tools and pretend I'm intimidating. Like I'm doing like my Kashan impersonation of intimidation.
There's no magic here. You're mistaken.
Liar. I'm a wizard. I know magic.
Well then,
I'll-
how do we know that the magic isn't coming from you, lizard?
Because it doesn't smell like lizard magic.
So
I
says.
cast
Here, Sherlock.
Zone of Truth on him.
Okay. Does
Yay,
it?
somebody trusts my judgment for
Does
a
it-
change and doesn't think I'm just picking a fight with someone.
Does he have to do anything for that?
A charisma saving throw. It needs to be to 13.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's hope
By the
he
way,
doesn't.
just as a side note, they are aware of this spell being placed on them.
Well, I think Bram might know I got a 23. I should be
Right,
able
he-
to tell the difference.
He failed very dramatically.
He cannot say a deliberate lie in a 15-foot radius. And is aware of the spell effects, and it lasts for 10 minutes.
Well, I don't know if I can't speak for your taste of magic, but the one thing I can tell you is that I like to get pedicures every other week. I find it very refreshing.
You're still using magic of some kind. Are you making magical weapons? Or are you cursing people?
Oh, neither. I'm just setting up this beacon so that magical people can come here and do whatever it is they do. I'm not entirely sure why they do it, but they're paying me a really, really substantial amount of money, and quite frankly, I don't really like Saxons. I find them to be racist pricks. But however, I do find that there are some that pique my interest, particularly ones who have interests in smithing. They don't just simply see me as a knife-ear or something, or like a pretty boy. They see me as someone worth paying attention to. You're very, very, very pretty, he says to Marilla.
Well, I don't disagree with their your points about their racism. Setting up beacons for them to cause magical attack.
Attractions. He's trying to attract magical things. Could that be what's attracting the water monsters?
That sounds exactly like what it is.
I'm doing my intimidation impersonation of Kashar, but it's like,
Well, I don't actually know anything about any magical creature attacks. I only came here a week ago. But basically, whenever I found out I was being sent here as part of my apprenticeship, a hooded figure came over to me and said, "Ah, it's Ricola Shepherd." And then another person turned up and basically just simply said, like, "How would you like to make some money?" And I'm like, "I always like money." And he said, "Well, put this in your forge." And he reaches into the forge and he pulls out what looks like a small lantern, but instead of it being filled with like candlelight, it's basically filled with a glowing blue water.
Can I try and destroy it?
Thundershock, it's water. We can like electrocute it and destroy the fire, destroy the water. We'll probably end up both doing the same thing at the same time.
Okay, can I get an initiative roll from the two of you? see which one of you gets there first.
I'm just blushing
20.
red at being called pretty.
Frank called you pretty a lot.
Yes, and she blushes about that as well.
Yeah.
I got a 16.
Okay, so Tordum, you get there first.
Well, I'm electrocuting it with when I can roll. Shocking grasp.
Mm-hmm.
It's made out of metal, isn't it?
Yes.
23. If I get to roll again, 23, not that. It takes 6 lightning damage.
Okay. But does he get affected by that because he's holding it?
I did it on the thing, so my implication is I focused it on the lantern.
Okay.
That I snatched out of his hand. I'm like,
Okay. Right. So that doesn't destroy the lantern. However, the water is now glowing with a further intensity.
I'm just gonna look at Gushan and go.
I'm going to try and swing my axe at it.
Okay. Okay. So.
Whilst they're doing...
But I'm just like ducking while he's doing this.
Okay, I was about to say.
I like hooked it on my tail and I'm like.
Okay.
I mean, I like to think that I put it on the floor first.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if you do this, if you miss, there's a possibility you'll hit Tordum.
No, I was going to say I'll put it on the floor so that it's.
Put it on the floor and I'm gonna just go and
I'm not-
stare intently at the other guy.
Okay, so what weapon are you using for this?
I will use my great axe, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I look outside to see if the river is receding quicker?
Okay, yeah. But there aren't any sort of like windows along this wall, so you would basically need to exit the fort or go upstairs onto the wall above.
I'll be like, don't hit it yet! And I'm gonna sprint upstairs.
Okay.
I'm going to very comically just hold my axe like 2 hands directly over my head and be like,
Okay, can I do it now? Or
And then I will look outside.
okay, give me an investigation.
Please don't be bad. Okay. Investigation. That is 19.
Okay. The water isn't receding, but it's becoming quite turbulent, which is quite odd because there's only a very gentle breeze.
Is it? If I shout, will they hear me?
Yes.
I'm gonna shout it anyway. But like, Tordum, whatever you did, the sea is waving angrily. Hit it, and it might wave angrier. You can still hit it. You can hit it now. Hit.
alright, I'm going to take a swing.
So I'm gonna get Firebolt ready in my hands to
Okay.
hit anything that appears from the sea.
Okay.
Well, that is my 1 session of crit.
Wait, so you critted against it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Right, so your axe slams into the lantern, and your Sorry, can you give me a dexterity saving throw?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Add +1, so that is 15.
Okay. Right, you managed to stop yourself from being launched backwards, but it was a substantial force which has pushed you away, and the entire area is lit up with a white light, pretty much like as if a flashbang has just gone off. So all of you are dazed for a split second, and then when the light clears, you can see that the lantern is completely shattered on the floor. However, the blue liquid is still floating in midair as if it was in still in the container. Mirala comes out from wherever it was that he was and goes, "What the bloody hell was that?"
He has magic beacon full of strange liquid.
Yeah. Yes, I do. It's rather shocking, isn't it?
He's also very compliant right now.
Yes,
Also,
yes, I am very compliant. It must be this zone of truth that you did for me, which is, is ironically a very useful spell, but not many people utilize it simply because they prefer to roleplay instead of using magic to to accomplish their goals.
it was the first time I used it.
It was that or a growly.
Is the sea doing anything from upstairs? Well, from below me, but whilst I'm upstairs.
Well, Frank is emerging from the water.
I almost cast Firebolt on him until I recognize his face and then I lower my hand
Does-
slightly.
Does he come out Baywatch style in slow motion?
Yes.
No.
And he shakes his hair like in slow motion. Just then, you can see all the different particles of water just like going off in different directions. Ah, that was refreshing. What are you doing up there?
Have you seen anything trying to kill you, Frank? In the sea?
Well, not unless you count the mermaids, which I forgot to get in contact with a few weeks ago. But no, nothing like that.
I'm gonna keep my hands up ready to cast Fireball. Not Fireball, I'm not a wizard. Firebolt. Be like, okay, why were you in the water then, just?
Well, I think it's a more important question to ask. Why aren't you in the water? Getting wet never
Because-
killed anybody, and if it did, they probably deserved it.
Frank,
Yes, dear.
I would use your words wisely round here. A lot of people have recently died from water.
Yeah, they probably deserved it.
Frank, you can't. Never mind. And I'm just gonna ignore him and go back to watching and shout down, be like, it's all clear down here. There's only Frank.
I'm gonna say to myself that I don't think that counts as all clear. Yes.
So back inside, Mirala is still utterly confused.
Somebody paid him to make magic beacon. To
Yes.
attract magical things. Water elements are magic. They are attracted to magic. This little floaty thing is magic.
He also said it was Rakana Shepherd.
And a male.
Are you shouting that down?
No, I'm just. It's a pigeon telling you this in your ear. It flies past you really
Writing it
quickly
in
and
the
goes,
sky,
and a male in a
there's
hood.
No script in the sky.
It's not. And then Frank just says, "That's not a pigeon."
Does he even know where an ear is on a lizard?
Probably not.
That's how we get away with metagaming, Frank.
God damn it, Frank.
And so Mirala basically turns to the smith and says, "Why would you do this?"
Money.
And the elf basically just points to the lizard. Yeah, money. Well, not just money, a substantial amount of money.
How much money?
50 gold?
Do you want to share it with us?
No,
Why not?
because that's the truth.
What are you going to spend your 50 gold on?
Well, as I said, I do like pedicures, so I was maybe getting that. I was thinking about getting
How can
my...
you have pedicures if you don't have any toes?
Well, I do have toes.
You do like that.
I find that very intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
I feel very threatened.
Can I have your gold now?
Where
I
did
might
these
leave with
people
some
approach you?
toes.
So, David, what do you say?
I want to ask where they approached him, like where he was when they gave him the 50 gold.
I was, I just reported to the barracks, and I'd been given my assignment, and I headed back to the little shanty outside of the city where I live, and there was a man waiting at the gates. He followed me, and we started talking, and he then took me to the local winery, which is more basically just a shack, and we had a drink, and which he paid for, I might add, and he gave me this offer, and I would have been a fool to refuse.
Mm.
I mean, no one was going to die. It was just he just wanted me to light up a beacon. Just simply said it would be useful for ships approaching the area to see and know where they're going.
You're an elf. You are naturally magically inclined. How did you not think it was something dodgy?
Well, may have been something dodgy, but that's not my business.
What if his business would have got you killed?
In truth, I didn't really think about that, and all honesty, I'd forgotten about it until you mentioned it. I mean, nothing's happened. I've been here for a week.
I'm just gonna point at the boss man.
And so Miwala basically just nods to two of the soldiers and says, "Take him away. We'll deal with him later." And that's what...
Conflicting information, because he said nothing's happened, and Morales says there was 2 attacks in the last week.
Do you address that to Miwala, or are you just thinking that?
I'm generically saying it out loud. In
Well,
Tordam's fashion of, I'm debating something, so I'm going to sit here and do my little cross-legged thing and say what I'm thinking without directing it at anybody.
No, you speak the truth. Soldiers can stay here for anything up to a month, but smiths are very, very sought after, and most smiths only simply stay at the fort for the sake of doing a particular job, and then they move on to the next one. So he would technically be the 3rd smith that we've had in this fort. So if it's the smiths who are bringing these beacons, and come to think of it, all of them have been elves. That can't be a
I don't think
coincidence.
it's because they're elves. They're just being picked on because they're elves. I'm
Yeah.
looking at Morela.
You sure? I mean, knife ears are quite treacherous.
I come
She's nice.
down as he says that.
Not all of them. Some of them are nice.
Okay, do you react to that at all, or
Yes.
as in a mace reaction, or?
I'm going to. This isn't going to be very intimidating at all. I'm going to cast Thaumaturgy, and my eye color's going to change from the bright blue into the darkest black. And I'm going to get really close to him and be like, I'm going to whisper it so none of the others can hear it. I'm going to be like, I'm not usually an aggressive person, but I've been recently told it's okay to kill racists. And I don't know how much I can go with that. So I would watch your words, because I can be powerful when I want to be, and I would be nicer to people who are trying to help you. Don't be a racist person. And then I back away and my eyes go back to normal and I smile at the group.
Okay, give me intimidation with advantage.
Yes!
She's been waiting for that.
Okay. Okay. That is a 12, so not great, not great.
Okay, I'll still say that's enough for him to be intimidated, and 1,000 apologies. I'm only saying what is commonplace. I personally have no problem with elves.
Good.
Orcs, on the other hand, I really dislike them.
I'm going to tell him to mind these children.
Yeah, I'll stop talking. I know how much you Dragonborns can hold a grudge.
Anybody thinking Milwaukee is starting to look like lunch?
I'm just watching how he's like digging his own gravestone.
Well, I must
Anyways,
deal. I must deal with this. But thank you for exposing this. But though technically now we're without a smith, so he goes off into the deeper aspects of the fortress.
Before he leaves, I will ask if he needs anything particular done smithing wise, because I could try my hand.
Oh, we're always in need of good weapons. The spears need sharpened, swords, axes. I believe some shields need repair.
I can make
give it a
basic
try
weapons
repairing
and
some
short
equipment and
rests.
stuff. We need to work out what we're doing.
Okay. Right, so he basically leaves. So do you guys want to have like your own low internal council or anything like that?
I'm gonna link arms up toward him and be like, I intimidated someone.
I did a magic and stuff.
I'll allow you both inspiration for that.
We're so cool.
I'm very impressed with both of you.
You didn't even know what I said.
I did.
I did nothing.
I found the magic beacon.
I'm gonna
Which
put
is-
my hand up for a high five.
I'm gonna high five her and then can I start writing the blacksmith stuff to see if he's left his gold there?
Okay, sure. Give me an investigation.
I mean, how about we go back to stealing? 9.
Okay. Unfortunately, you don't find his gold in the forge. Okay, so Kashan, what did you want to discuss?
What was it? What was it that the king said? Like, what you wanted to go back before we like confronted anyone if we found out any information, didn't he?
Yes, basically the king wants answers as to what's going on here over but the situation being resolved, because he wants to know he suspects that somebody in the land is plotting against him, and he wants to know who, to see how far the conspiracy goes.
Okay.
How close is this place the blacksmith was talking about?
Sorry?
He was talking about he was somewhere where he got given the lantern.
And shanty outside the city.
Yeah, so how can we get there?
You will need to go back to Aqua Veda, which is a good sort of day and a half.
Should also possibly maybe go back to the
To the church. To talk to the
chapel.
church. Yeah. To
So
talk to.
go talk to. Look, it's Racola Shepherd.
Maybe we should go. Yeah, that was. We could get there and then back by tomorrow if people were fighting.
Okay, so in order to basically leave the fortress, you'll need to have Miwala's permission in order to do that, as he's the garrison commander.
Can we go find him?
Sure. But I won't make you roll for it. He's basically he escorted the guards to the brig, which is basically this underground warehouse that just happens to have like a jail cells in it, and you basically intercept him on his way back up. I do apologise for my words. I'm not used to dealing with anyone who's not human.
Can we leave to go speak to Ricola Shepherd?
And what do you want with the abbess?
She was with the blacksmith when he got given the thingy. I'm just going to point at the glowy thing, which I'm assuming is still sort of floating in midair.
Yes, it is. Oh, very well. How long do you think you'll be?
Oh.
We're expecting the attack, and then looks around. We're expecting the attack tomorrow morning. If you're not back by then there's no point in you coming back.
I'm going
Do you think we should stay the night and help defend the fort, or is there a way to tell, like, if we took the beacon with us, if the
attack wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But those of you who want to find out, give me an Arcana check.
I was gonna say I kind of want to touch it.
I've kind of already been touching it. I've just been like poking and prodding it. Like,
Yeah, I want to poke it and see if we can move it.
Okay, it's when you poke it, it's basically like it's got a sort of like jelly consistency. However, whenever you poke it, it sort of pushes everything aside. But whenever you take your finger out, it immediately reforms like a liquid would. Like, so it's basically got a very sticky consistency, but it flows like normal water would.
I got a 19 on my Arcana check.
Okay.
I did get an 18 and then I just continued pressing roll.
Okay. Charlotte?
Oh. Probably not very good at all because I rolled a 4.
Okay, so you put those of you who David and Nat, you, even though that you're not particularly versed in magical items, Kshan, you actually recognise this as a material which is used in the occasional military system, which is used for basically sending out flares to people when they're alerting their allies to the fact that reinforcements are on their way. So you know that this is actually very flammable.
Okay.
You recognise this for a similar point, but you also know that it's quite a critical component in making. Oh, what are they called? Sorcerers have them. They're like divine arcane focuses. Yeah, the things that magic users use to project their magic. And Marilla, you know that it looks like water.
Guys, it's water.
It's really not. It's
Oh.
like an arcane
something-
focus thingy, and it goes boom.
It's something much more than water. The guy did say that they said they were signaling their allies. So what if like the water elementals are something else? And then there's also
Is there another
Like-
empty barrel around?
There's quite a few.
because
Yeah.
if
Can we put just like it's floating in the spot? Can we just sort of
It's basically floating as if it's in an invisible container at the minute.
can we put the barrel over the top so it doesn't glow?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can do
probably
that if
best-
you want. Do you want to use your barrel or?
No.
Okay.
Go get another barrel.
Okay, so the barrel basically goes over it, and your immediate sense that this is a magical item completely disappears as soon as it is obscured. Like, if you didn't know, if you hadn't been the one to put the barrel on top, you wouldn't know that it's there magically. So, like, any signals that you're getting from it are immediately cut off.
I'm gonna put using my new found writing skills. I'm gonna put do not move. Danger speaking. Do not move.
Okay, guys. So it's coming to evening. So, what do you guys want to do?
I think we should potentially stay the night and see if the attack still happens. Maybe.
Okay.
Okay. Charlotte, you okay with that? You muted yourself, Charlotte.
Sorry, it's because I was coughing up so
Okay.
much stuff. What was the question?
Do you want to stay, or do you want to head back to the convent and confront Shepherd?
Oh, I think personally I'd like to stay. Just because if there is an attack tomorrow, we can help and save lives. Whereas if we go, how many people will die?
Okay. Right. So,
I will spend as much of my time as I can, like doing the smith work that needs done,
okay.
like sharpening spears and stuff.
Marilla, what do you want to do?
I would like not going to appreciate what I'd like to do, but I want to try it.
Okay.
I'd like to go round to each of the soldiers I come across who aren't like rushing to get anywhere, just like chilling sort of, and be like,
Mm-hmm.
go up to them, take a bit of holy water, put it on their head, and sort of bless them against evil and like pray without being too suspicious that something terrible might happen.
Okay. Give me a performance check.
Oh, goodness me. Oh, goodness. Okay. Ooh, okay, that's an 18.
Alright, so the soldiers are actually quite appreciative of your efforts. One of them actually hands you their goblet of ale. It's been a long time since we've had a priest of the Holy Child come to bless us. It's a good feeling.
I just nod and under my breath go, I mean, it's actually Lyria, but sure.
Okay, so what are you doing?
I'm tinkering with my scraps that I'm using to make my bag.
Okay. And Kashan, you're bashing it out at the smith.
I can't remember
Yep.
what I rolled last time to say how far on my progress was.
Neither can I. All right. Roll 2 dice and we'll...
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I actually wrote... That might be what that 4RB was.
maybe.
What dice?
2 d20s.
$22 total.
Okay, so if you add that to the list of numbers,
List of numbers.
every time you said you were tinkering, I got you to roll a d20. You were writing those numbers in a row, and we'll tell you what to do with them afterwards.
That's the second
Do
one.
I,
That's the 4RB, then that's the second one then. So
Mhm.
it must be, I must have missed a roll.
Okay. Okay, David?
Do I learn any more Smith stuff from doing Smith stuff?
You do, but for it to sort of like compute into anything like experience, like in Skyrim or anything like that, so it would take quite a while.
Oh, that's fine. I just remember when you like made us roll to check what the guy was doing.
But basically, the way that I run it is that if you practice stuff, so say like if you had done this before, but you had made your shield, it would have basically minus a certain amount from the difficulty roll to craft the item.
Ah,
That's basically how I do practice, if that makes sense.
I like that. Good method. Good method.
Okay, so it gets to about midnight, and so you guys are basically doing whatever it is you're doing, when you can hear from the stables but the various neighing of horses. Like, it's been quite quiet, and then all of a sudden you're hearing quite panicked noises.
Do I recognise it as Baldwin?
But give me an animal handling check, see if you do.
That is a 19 and a 20. So they become 18 and 19.
Okay. Yep. So you do recognise that the distinctive neighing of Baldwin. But, however, all of the other horses, and there's only about like 3 or 4, including Baldwin, they're all getting quite panicky as well. Can each of you give me a perception check?
Perception. Do I add anything?
4.
13 for me.
Charlotte?
I'm just sitting on the barrel.
14 for me.
Okay. Charlotte, because you sort of like recognise what it sounds like, you can hear that the water is becoming quite choppy again.
Okay. I would like to go back upstairs.
Okay, do you want to tell them that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that might be useful. Come on, guys, this way.
I'm just gonna
I will
try to find it.
follow suit.
Okay.
Turek
Turek is currently asleep, so does anybody want to go wake him up?
Yeah.
Might be
No,
worth.
maybe. What is the
Where
current
is he
situation
sleeping?
like? Are there like guards sort of like working a night shift, or
Yeah, there's effectively the night guards who are just simply standing on the wall, just staring out to the various lands. However, along the wall to the water, there aren't any guards.
There you go, I've just gone and jumped on Turek.
Okay. Everybody is facing inland as opposed to facing the other fortress. There's some looking out to sea, but there's no one sort of like looking over this particular area.
I jumped on Turek. I'll come back now. This is why they should tell them there's danger in the sea, because they're all looking the wrong way.
yeah?
Should we get people ready for some?
Well, as we, I think as we sort of like approach the wall, I will send a guard to go get Mawali.
I was gonna
Okay.
say, if not, I
Can
can
we
make
see
my
this
voice
yet, or
3 times
just-
louder, and I can make it
Keep
boom.
it on there.
Okay, so as you do this, Sean, each of you can see in the narrowest part of the water is beginning to contract slightly, and you see what had been the sunken remains of a rowboat, and out of that spot comes a swirling mass of water, which basically stops becoming like a thin twisting whirlpool, and then sort of like morphs itself into this sort of like misshapen form, which does seem to have like 2 arms and a space for a head, and then like just a solid mass of water going down to the ground. And wherever this thing is, it looks at you guys very directly, and then lets out this sort of like whenever people scream underwater, it becomes very distorted and very sort of rhythmic.
Garble.
Yeah, garbled. It lets out a sound pretty much like that, and 3 more of these creatures start appearing.
Magic missile.
I look towards the guard I was telling to go get Mawali and tell him to do it a little bit sooner.
I was gonna say, I was gonna get Firebolt ready to cast as one approached.
Okay. Right, so you want to do magic missile?
Yeah.
Okay, so what level do you want to cast that at?
Level 7?
Okay.
Sorry, how many did I roll at 10?
Yeah. If you basically just roll 10 d4s and then plus 30 to the result.
Okay. $22 and then plus 10, yeah? Or 22.
Plus 30.
52.
52 damage, okay. And are you shooting that at one particular...
As many as I can till one dies, and then the spare any more.
Okay.
That kills any.
So 1 sec. System's being a bit weird. So how much damage?
52.
52, okay. Okay, so the first few missiles basically just go straight through it, and don't seem to really affect it much. But then, so as the first 2 hit, or don't hit, the others then do hit. Some immediately afterwards go through it and then explode. and then others sort of impact against it. So by the time the 10th missile hits, it has felt the full impact of all of these missiles, and even though its expression doesn't change or its build doesn't change, you can tell that it's very pissed off with you. So, with that, can I get... So, Mirella, weren't you doing something?
Yes, I wanted to cast Fireball.
Are you sure? I'm just checking if I need to roll to hit it, because I can't remember. My D&D Beyond is being really slow. Come on, quicker. Come on. Is that a sign you want me to look out for you?
I'm getting there. There we go. Okay, yes, I do. That is a 15 to hit.
Okay. Yuck. Yep, that hits.
Yes. Okay. 1d10.
Can I have another player map?
For you.
And that takes 9 points of fire damage.
Okay. Surprisingly, that does actually hit it, and steam just billows out from it. And for a moment, this thing does actually seem considerably smaller, but then more water just comes out from the river, and it sort of re-inflates.
Okay.
Maybe
I
we
should have
get it out the
done
water
something
before
else.
we
I'm an
attack it.
idiot. Never mind.
Sorry, what did you say?
Sorry, I was talking to myself.
Okay, right, so can I get everybody's initiative?
That would be 3.
3.
Mine was a 14.
20. Why do I get high rolls in the code? They're not massively important.
Okay, and McKelly. Come on. $15. Okay. I keep on losing my dice, even though they're right in front of me. Nope, wrong one. Okay. 13. Yay, for once we didn't have any duplicates. Okay, so Natalie, you first.
My magic missile kind of threw me. Yeah. I'm gonna do firebolt.
Mm-hmm.
21 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
It takes 1 damage.
Okay. You gonna do anything else?
I'm gonna back away from the water slowly.
Okay. So, are you going to be staying on top of the wall, or are you going to go back down the stairs and into the fort?
I might go a little bit further along the wall, like more inlandy, but
Okay.
like away from the one I'm pissing off.
Okay.
I'm assuming I've been pissing this one off.
Alright. So, so is that your turn done?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, so McKelly, throwing caution to the wind, is going to jump down from the wall. And...
Can I use my bonus action to go and face palm? So Kelly jumps down.
Okay, and then... Yes, he's going to use a key point to jump down, which brings him to about there, and he's going to wade into the water and attack this thing. Okay, so quarterstaff attack first. Guess that hits. Okay, so right, so you whacks it with his quarterstaff, and the quarterstaff just goes straight through it. It doesn't appear to accomplish anything at all. And but completely unperturbed by this, he's then going to just sort of spin around and give a good old-fashioned punch. And the water just opens around his fist, and he just manages to pull it out again, just as the form reforms around him. So with that, he's then going to use another key point and disengage back onto land. Okay. Okay, Charlotte, you're up.
Well, she said she'll be 2 seconds.
Okay. Do you want to take your turn then, David?
Yeah, I'd like to also jump down from the wall. It was going to be my question as to how tall it was. But if McKelly's managed to successfully get down, I will also
I'm
jump down.
remembering a
And...
certain meme, if the monk says jump, don't always trust.
I'm gonna attempt to jump down then, and then I will that's not what I need. Or where's this thing? 25. I'm gonna step towards the water's edge, and use my fire breath on this one.
Okay.
So it is so it needs to make a Dex saving throw of 13 or higher.
Failed.
Failed. It just takes 2d6. Can a water elemental be set on fire?
You'll find out.
Okay, well, it takes 9 damage. And if it can be set on fire, it is on fire.
Okay. Right, so the water itself just steams. The elemental disappears underneath the fire, and as the fire sort of pitters out, you can see that you've completely vaporized the entire thing. And so there's nothing there's nothing there to be set on fire, and it's just this mass cloud of steam. But then the water recedes again, and it reforms into this entity which you've attacked. However, you can see that it's significantly smaller than it was before.
Okay. And then as a bonus action, I'm going to activate my Giant's Might.
Mm-hmm.
And become big.
Okay.
That is me for this turn.
Right, so the water elemental is going to advance on you. And... Okay, and can you give me a strength saving throw?
Oh, yes I can. I get to do that with advantage because of my Giant's Might. I had +6 to my saving throws as well, so... that is a 25.
Okay. Right, so it basically tries to launch itself at you and just grab you, and you get a sense that it's trying to pull you inside of it, but you're able to just simply pull away and take a step back, to the point that it basically flops onto the floor and goes up in a big splash to then reform back in the water.
Nice.
Okay, so this one is going to advance on the wall, so Then go walk, and then it's going to just simply walk straight through this wall to the soldiers that are inside. This one is going to come to about here, and this one is going to attack the soldiers that are practicing in this yard. Okay, you can hear. You can't really see what's going on, but you can hear the screams of soldiers as they suddenly realise that they're under attack. Okay. Okay, whenever Charlotte comes back, she can take her turn, but Natalie, you're up.
She did send a message saying she was back, but I don't know if
Hello,
she's...
yes.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Sorry,
I was
I had to grab milk because my throat died.
Okay, fair enough. If you want to take your turn?
Yeah, so I would like to jump down the wall or hop down however I can.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, there's one right there next to me. Never mind. I am gonna put my hand into a pocket that I have on my belt, get a grain of sand, put my arm out, and I'm gonna cast Destroy Water
Okay.
on the blue one. It's a 30-foot cube and can destroy 10 gallons of water.
Right, so nobody's ever actually used Destroy Water in my campaigns before. I'm not entirely sure what it does.
Basically, if you use a grain of sand, you can destroy water or fog up to 10 gallons or a 30-foot cube. So I destroy 10 gallons of water. Hopefully. It doesn't have a saving throw or anything. I'm just hoping that I can dissipate it.
Okay, so which one are you attacking? The blue one, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Right, so the blue one disappears in a puff of steam, which then just sort of sails off into the distance. I won't be able to edit the picture, but this entire sort of like section of river is also completely evaporated.
That'll be fine.
Is it a concentration
How
spell?
much is gallons? Hang on. I don't actually know how much a gallon is.
A lot.
Oh, well.
Put it this way: a gallon is usually the full extent that a car would be able to carry.
Oh, wow. Yay! And I'd like to, I'm gonna, as I dissipate it, I'd like to hop down. No, wait, there's one inside. And then I'm gonna run downstairs.
Okay. Right, so as you run downstairs, you can hear that the soldiers are sort of waking up and things like that. And you basically hear the sounds of people shouting, "Pull him out, pull him out."
Odd.
Okay, so as you round the corner, you can basically see that one of the water elementals has basically pulled one of the sleeping soldiers inside of it, and is basically trying to drown it inside and drown the guy inside him.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
Right. Okay, so Natalie, if you want to take your turn.
Can I get off and go to like there? I
Mhm.
think that's 5 off. I can go there.
Yep.
technically. I'm gonna cast magic. Do I have the spell magic missile as well?
Yeah, you have the spell magic missile, and then you have the wand.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, I'm gonna cast the spell magic missile
Mm-hmm.
at the one that's here.
Yep.
It's just suddenly appeared.
Yep.
I'm assuming it just suddenly appeared.
Mm-hmm.
Button gone now. There we go. It's a level 3 spell, so
Okay, so that will be 6. So if you want to...
ignore that. I will roll this way.
Okay, so it's
24.
plus 6, so that's 30 damage.
On this one here.
On the orange one, yeah.
And I don't think I have any bonus action. No, because magic missile. I think I need both hands for that.
Yeah.
One action, yeah.
Okay, so the missiles slam into this creature, but it doesn't break the surface tension enough for the guy to basically fall out. So he's basically just he's scrabbling inside, trying to. He's almost sort of like banging on the inside of it, which is causing sort of like ripples in the water, but he isn't able to break through for some reason.
I don't know. Suggest I was trying to help.
Okay, so McKelly is going to. Oops. He's going to come and join you, Kashan, and again he's going to attempt to give it a good old-fashioned whack with his quarterstaff. Okay, so. But again, it just simply goes straight through the creature. And he's then going to attempt to punch it again. Only this time he's going to use his flurry of blows. Yeah. Right. Oops. Right, so... Right, so he hit with both attacks. Okay. Unlike the quarterstaff, however, these blows, because they're magical, they do actually impact right against the creature, and it actually causes something of a shockwave to go out to the surrounding water. So the staff basically flies through it, and he just he puts the staff down and then just punches him twice in what would be this thing's chest, and it just causes this booming noises as if explosions are happening underwater. Okay. Charlotte, you're up.
Okay. Seeing this guy in orange, I'm gonna run forwards a little bit, take out another grain of sand, and cast Destroy Water again.
Okay. Don't need to do anything, do I? No. Okay. Right.
Yep.
So this water elemental again just completely disappears, and the guy who's inside it just falls to the floor. He's completely soaked, but as soon as he hits the floor, it just evaporates because of the spell that you've cast.
Then I'm gonna be like, "Are you okay?" I'll be my go.
Yes, I'm fine, he says after coughing up loads and loads of water. Thank you. And then
Knife is useful sometimes.
Mirala basically runs in and says, alright, that's enough lollygagging, let's get your weapons, we're under attack. Okay, and... Okay, David, you're up.
Do I hear Muwali saying that they're under attack?
Yes, he's shouting it so the entire fort can hear.
Okay, I would like to shout over the wall what gave it away. And then I am going to what am I going to attack with here? I guess I'll just swing my axe at it. Actually, no. I'm going to attack with a long sword of wounding. See if that does anything.
Okay.
Now that I am actually attuned. So at a +5, that's 17 to hit.
Yep.
So 1d8 +3, and a d4 necrotic. So, hey, we've got a full 8 on with d8, so that's 11 slashing and 3 necrotic from the longsword of wounded.
Okay, so okay, so you slash the sword into it, and it has a similar effect to the that happened with McKelly's quarterstaff. The sword just sort of like goes through it, but it does. But with the creature does feel the hit, as it were. Because again, there's like that sort of depth charge sound coming from it as it impacts against it, and then as the necrotic damage then sets in as soon as you finish your attack, it starts to like shake somewhat, and then it falls apart in a big splash, tries to reforge itself like into this form again, but only comes to about half height and then just splashes back into the water.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Can I then get a wisdom saving throw from you?
Ooh. Alright, yeah, sure. Do I 0 for wisdom, so 16.
Okay. You hear a voice in the back of your head just go, "Feed, feed," and you turn to McKelly and you have an initial thought, and it's like, he's looking very vulnerable, but somebody could very easily stab him in the back. But then you shake yourself and it's like, what the hell was that?
Oh, I don't know if I should still be using this. Alright, is that so is that one gone?
But for now, yes. So you're not entirely sure if it's dead, but you just know that it hasn't reappeared. And yes, you can make that.
Can I will attempt to cross the water in that case. Why? Oh, change the thing. I can move 30 feet, so I can get to here. Seeing this one up here. How far away is that? I will attempt to throw one of the spider stinger javelins.
Okay.
As my bonus thing.
Sure.
Because I can do it to 60 feet, so which seems a very long way to be able to throw a javelin. That is a 20 to hit, not natural.
Yep, that hits.
Cool. So, I need a d6. And I'll also apply my Giant's Might bonus damage to this one that I didn't to the last one. So it's 2d6. So it is 8 piercing damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then it is 7 poison damage.
Okay. So the spear basically just flies through the air and it hits the target, but basically just goes straight through it and embeds itself in the sand behind it. It doesn't seem perturbed by what's just happened to it at all. It turns to you because it's noticed that something's happened, but you get the feeling that you could have tapped it on the shoulder and accomplished the same thing.
Oh well, worth trying. Okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that's me.
Right, so this one is then going to turn on this guy, and he's going to try and suck him up, which he succeeds in. So this guy is now inside the creature, and as you witness this happening, two more of the elementals form out in the water and start making their way over to the fortress. This one is going to go through the wall and reappear here. Okay, so these soldiers are all going to converge on this one, and you can, Kashan, you can actually see that one of them is what looks to be a dwarf, and you can see that he fights in the exact same style that Finn and Ivor fight from Heroic's Guard. And he basically has two axes, and in a flurry of movements, he tries to effectively cut up the elemental, trying to get it to fall to the floor in a big splash. So he's basically going low, and he does eventually succeed, although it takes quite a few hits, and the creature basically falls over and goes off in a big splash, only to then reform back in the water. Okay. Okay, now you're back up.
I'm just gonna sort of go back here.
Mm-hmm.
And shoot at this one that somehow was teleported over here.
So which one, the orange one?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm kind of not gonna go down in the water.
Yep.
Gonna cast Firebolt.
Sure.
12.
That doesn't hit, unfortunately.
Okay. Then I just sort of like, oh, it's water and the fire sort of goes away. Maybe not.
Okay, so McKelly is going to charge at this one. And give him what for?
This is why I hate water.
Okay, so that's... Okay, so that's with his quarterstaff attacks, which, again, don't really accomplish anything. But then he's going to try and punch it. Which it does not like at all. Okay. Charlie, you're up.
Okie dokie. With the blue guy, I'm guessing the blue guy's still there.
Yeah, it's basically just morphed through the wall.
That's fine. I will duck everyone, and I'm gonna cast Firebolt.
Okay.
I don't want to accidentally hit
The
anyone.
orange one came through the wall before, didn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just chasing
Ooh.
along with fighting initially.
21.
Yeah, that hits.
6 points of fire damage.
Lovely. Blue. Okay, you go do anything as a bonus?
Yeah, I don't know if it would do anything. I will bonus action cast my spiritual weapon.
Alright. There you go.
And then I'll be like, okay, guys, good luck.
Okay, David, you're up.
Well. I'm gonna. I don't know what I'm gonna do, to be honest. What am I gonna attempt here? Do I have any sort of like a vision of one of these being sort of stronger than the others, or any sort of insight as to the Alpha said something about a Myrmidon?
Right, so you basically, as a soldier, know about famous warriors known as Myrmidons, and these were basically champions. And from your understanding of champions, you understand that they're very decoratively different than the average soldiers. So you're fairly confident that you haven't yet seen the Myrmidon.
Right. Is there any way to like run a perception check if it's near, or is it just something that would appear?
You can give me a perception if you want.
I will do such a thing. Oh, not with you. You've been bad tonight. Your turn. Do I need the perception? +1. That is 12.
Okay. You notice that the water here is getting choppy again, but aside from that, you don't see any sign that more of these things are coming.
Okay. Right. Well, in that case, I am going to attempt. I'm going to move a little bit further up this way, so that I'm closer to sort of where my javelin was.
Mm-hmm.
Because I intend to pick that one up shortly. But what I'm going to attempt to do is throw one of my hand axes at this green one here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to attempt to use me fire rune as it impacts.
Okay.
To try and because clearly normal damage doesn't seem to be doing anything, so maybe the fiery stuff will do so. So I need to roll an attack first. Does 15 hit?
Yep, that hits.
Okay. And then it is d6 plus 3. So it's 8 normal damage, and then it is 10 fire damage. And it needs to make a dex save, or it is like constrained.
Okay, that failed.
Okay, cool. Well, it is now restrained until it breaks.
What specifically is restraining it?
So it says that when you hit a creature using a weapon, with an attack using a weapon, you can invoke the rune to summon fiery shackles. It takes 2d6 fire damage and must succeed. It's a strength saving throw, not dex, sorry.
No, don't worry, it got low enough they will probably fail on strength as well.
It is restrained for 1 minute. While restrained by the shackles, the target takes 2d6 fire damage at the start of each of its turns. They can use its turn to repeat a save and throw it.
Okay, so as the shackles basically put wrap around it and burn it, and the creature lets out another warble, and then just allows itself to just drop into the water again, and then slowly reforms itself afterwards. The chains, having nothing to hold on to, just simply fall into the water.
God damn it. Alright. Well, worth trying. I've lost an axe now. That's fine. It was just a hand axe.
Okay. I don't have anything for your axe, so I'll just use a javelin. But it basically floats downriver and then falls into this empty area, which is being created by Marilla's destroy water.
Oh, that's appreciative.
Okay.
Right, well, there's nothing else I can do on my turn, so that is me, I guess.
Okay. Right, so this one basically just makes a beeline straight for you.
Break it on, come on.
And instead of trying to draw you into it, it's basically makes a sort of like almost dance-like action, and then tries to just hit you with what would be one of its watery arms. So the first one misses. Does the 28 hit you?
It does.
Okay.
My AC is not quite that high yet. One day.
AC goals.
12. Okay, that's
Well,
16
that's
points of
worse.
damage done to you.
16. Oofed.
Okay, and this one is going to do the same to McKelly. Alright. That's 11 points of damage done to him. And he's not looking particularly happy about that. And this one is going to charge straight at you, Marilla, and is going to attempt to draw you in. So can I get a strength save from you?
Yes. I've lost my dice. I found my dice. Oh, not good. That is a 5.
Okay, right, so it basically wraps around your wrists and then just simply pulls you into its stomach. I'll give you a chance to do a dexterity saving for it to see if you can take a deep breath before you go in.
Hey. 14.
Okay, right, so you're able to hold your breath as you are drawn into it, and you basically feel as if you are submerged underwater, and you can feel like the edges of the inside of this creature, and it's basically like you're up against the glass wall, and you take
Oh god.
9 damage from that.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, and for all intents and purposes, you are restrained. Okay. Right, so as the water begins to get significantly more choppy, I don't think any of you told him you can see it, but the water recedes a considerable amount, to the point that the boat is nearly entirely revealed, and a great figure, like a really massive form emerges, and you can see that this water form does actually have armor, and also it's holding a massive trident.
Okay.
And it basically stands there looking very important looking, and then it makes a beeline for here, and then, unlike the other water elementals, it's able to form what looks like legs, and then steps onto land, and starts heading for you, Kashan.
Let's go.
Okay.
I'm all ready for this.
Okay, so now you're up.
Can I grab the glowy thing out of the barrel?
Yep. Give me sleight of hand. See if you can keep it in your hands.
I was just going to pick up the thing in the barrel. I assumed it was just in the barrel.
After you turn the barrel upside down and put it over it.
The one marker. 17.
Okay. Right, so it's very slippery, so you're having to sort of like juggle it from one hand to the other, but you're able to pick it up.
Can I throw it? And like here.
Yeah, sure. I'll use your original sleight of hand. So you basically hoik this thing over the chain and into what's effectively now like a little stream. Do you want to say anything as you do it?
Did that work?
Okay, so as the thing hits the water, it's strangely enough it bounces as it hits the ground. So basically, like bounces 3 times, and then it lands as if the invisible container that it's in is standing upright, and then all of a sudden it starts to glow really intensely, and then lets out a really massive blue pulse that just goes out in every direction, and a beam of light just shoots up into the sky.
That wasn't quite what I was aiming for. I thought it might attract these things.
Yeah, okay. Right, I'll count that as a bonus action, so what would you like to do? Anything else?
Firebolt up at the nearest one.
So the orange one.
I didn't hit anyway.
Okay.
I rolled an 8.
Yeah,
I
okay.
really don't like water.
Okay.
I think my dice rolls agree with me.
Okay, so McKelly is going to try and beat the crap out of this thing.
I thought it might draw the bad guys away. I thought it might be like that. That's what they're coming for.
Okay, so that's... Yeah, you would think that Turek and all of his intelligence would learn that this isn't working, but unfortunately he doesn't. And
Doesn't he have a necklace of fireballs?
yeah, but I don't feel right using up his magical items while he's not here. Then he's going to attempt his... Okay. Right. Okay. Do we think it'll be okay if we called it here for tonight, guys? Because Maya's woken up and it usually takes us quite a while to get back to sleep.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright.